Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
Thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. I am joined by Joshua. You are a self-proclaimed indie manga creator.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
All right, we got to get down to the bottom of this. Tell everybody what you do and how you got into this in the first place.
So me being an indie manga creator, I've always liked anime, superhero stuff growing up. That was my main inspiration. But then I always had these ideas, like as I was going through things growing up, that I would watch movies and I was like, I could make that better. So in my head, I would like make these movies with my own characters and I'll be sitting in class just daydreaming about these movies that I'm making in my own head. Eventually I started making an idea for some concepts for a manga, and I really didn't act on it until the passing of my mother before college, because my mom passed away then, probably 2 weeks after one of my older brothers passed away. That was kind of what, I know that, I know how that's, but sometimes, you know, there's a blessing in the lesson, and in that lesson, it propelled me into acting on the things that my mom believed in me in doing. So I started with the manga. I really didn't get into it after the college, where I felt like I could draw, but I wanted to draw everything myself. But I then took a course where someone was like, hey, if you can, get out of the way so somebody else can do it, because I'm looking at another 2 years if I try to learn how to do the manga style. So with that, I started on doing it. Started going to conventions, and I would first kind of pick people's brains. One of my early mentors, he was surprised because I just asked him, hey, can I get your number? Can I, reach out to you if I need anything? And I was asking him 6 months later, I'm messaging him, I'm like, hey, guess who's gonna be at the same convention that you were at? And he was surprised. From there, I was just hitting it boots to the ground. And I've done PowerCon, which is a local one for Florence. I've done, I believe, I did the Grand Strand one that's down here, the Grand Strand Comic Con. And then I recently did LA Comic Con. So
that's big.
That was a condensing of the timeline of how we got here. But my main project, there was one time I had a dream, and it was about Camgechi. And I then started to connect the dots after I had that dream. I took a Gullah Geechee business course, and they were trying to tie in what I do into the course. They were like, why don't you do a Gullah Geechee story? And I was like, why don't I do a Gullah Geechee story? That's a good point. And I started connecting it, and then that's when all of this came about. And from here, I mean, this is starting to be one of the stories that, despite my main project is doing good, but as people start to hear about Camgechi, they're like, we want this.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here right now.
So you're building this world that is completely tied to your own culture.
Yes.
What has the response been so far when you tell people about this?
There's more of a surprise, actually, because no one's doing it.
Yeah.
I go to a lot of these conventions and I ask people, about Gullah Geechee culture, and I even talk about how a lot of African Americans don't realize here in America, 80% of us have some type of Gullah Geechee lineage, but yet they don't know that they have this lineage. So when I bring up the concept of Camgechi, I have been quizzed a little bit, but I'm doing my best as I'm learning about my own history, that I'm, putting it into the story. So that's kind of the fun part about it, is taking something that I found out about Gullah Geechee culture and finding a way to twist it and putting it into the story.
It's very unique.
Very unique.
It's very cool what you do. I'm very excited to see where this goes. How can people stay updated with everything that you're doing so they can get that drop the second that it's ready?
Good question. So I have my Instagram that is @_no retreat, no surrender. That's the name of my main project, is No Retreat, No Surrender. My email is missyoujoshua@gmail.com.
Remind me of the Instagram name again.
@_no retreat, no surrender.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. Man, am I excited. Guys, in the studio today, I actually have a magician with me, Lion Flood. How are you doing?
I'm well. I'm excited to be here and just to embrace all this positive energy.
Oh yeah, we're all about positive energy on Living Local Carolina. But I want to know more about you.
Okay.
How did you get into magic in the first place?
That is the age-old question, and to give you the short answer, so I'm a retired Marine veteran.
Really?
Yes.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. And I was injured, and I was recouping in the hospital. I had about 4 knee surgeries and couldn't move, and so I needed something to do. And I picked up a book and started reading, and it made me smile. And I started learning magic tricks, and eventually they would bring patients in to the room, and I would do tricks for them, little card tricks. And then when I was able to be mobile in a wheelchair, they would wheel me to other patients' room, and it kind of snowballed.
way.
Yeah, and it just picked up from that and just took off.
What you got?
All right, so I love using senses when I perform, right? So in this one, we're going to use 2 senses, sight and sound. What I would like to do is attempt to place this coin inside the bottle, just like that. Now,
No way.
so, and it's going to happen very close up, right? And I'm going to do it on the count of 3.
Okay.
So watch. And I'm going to do it slow so everyone can see it. 1, 2. You know, 3 days ago when I tried this trick, no I'm kidding. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Now, how on earth did he just do that? Y'all.
And you can hold your hand out. I want you to verify that's an actual coin. It's
Dude.
yes.
Okay, when I read that you're good at close-up magic, I wasn't actually quite sure what close-up magic was,
Oh.
but like to actually be in front of it and
Yes.
watch it happen, it's wild.
Yes.
That was crazy.
And that's probably
That's
the
difficult to
best,
do.
Yeah, it's probably the best thing I love about magic, because stage magic and all that's great.
The smoke and the
Yes.
mirrors and everything.
But to be inches from it and to
Yeah.
see it literally go from here to there,
Love
it's indescribable sometimes. That emotion. Thank you. Thank you.
I loved that. Oh, and I love magic too. We have quite a treat today on Living Local Carolina. I am joined in studio by Salty Dog Senior Dog Rescue. How are you guys doing?
We're awesome. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So obviously we have a very esteemed guest over here, Otis, who's sitting on the couch with us. But why don't y'all tell me first a little bit about what you do and the whole purpose behind your mission?
Sure, absolutely. We are a senior-based rescue. We only take dogs 6 and older. We get dogs from owner surrender as well as from shelters. We started in May of 22, and we are a 501c3. We are totally operated by volunteers, located in Pawleys Island, but we have fosters as far north as Little River and as far south as Charleston. And then we adopt out animals out of state. We've had people come 4-6 hours just to adopt some of our senior dogs.
Okay, so senior dogs, obviously there's a specific purpose why.
My partner and I both started working in animal rescue years ago, and we noticed that the senior dogs come in and they kind of get overlooked. People are looking for puppies or younger dogs, and most of these dogs have already been in a home, so they are surrendered or dropped off at a shelter, and then they just are there kind of overwhelmed, never been in that type of environment before. So we just felt a need to come and draw those dogs out, put them in a foster home as opposed to a shelter, and then focus more attention on them so that they get adopted.
You're closing that gap
Yeah.
for dogs like Otis.
Yes, yes. We enjoy what we do. We also, another thing that is important to us is estate planning. We really feel like people need to focus on what's going to happen to their animals should something happen to them. Too many people assume that family or friends are going to take their dog, and actually cats as well, and then what happens is they get dropped off at a shelter instead.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Well, thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. I'm Katie Turner, and I'm joined in studio with Coach Shanice. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Absolutely. So let's talk about what you do. You're a coach. What does that mean, really?
So I am a coach, yes. First, I'm a health coach, so I help people get healthy. I own a business, it's called Glow Up Wellness, and what we do is transform people's lives through nutrition.
All right, how'd you get into this field in the first place? We all have a story, you know.
Yes, so I decided one day that I needed to lose some weight.
Okay.
I had hit a wall and I thought I need to change my life, and I did. I decided to, eat healthier, do some more working out, things like that. And it kind of led to a passion about it. So I'm like, if I can do this, I ended up losing over 80 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. I said, anybody can do it if I can do it. So I decided to help people do it as well.
I think a big hurdle for a lot of people is motivation and kind of knowing where to start when you're not educated on the subject. How do you approach that with people?
So 2 things. Baby steps is the first one. Sometimes we look at the larger shiny goal, and when we embark on the journey, we kind of so far from that it gets discouraging. But if you know to take a small step in front of you, if you keep doing that, you'll get to the larger goal. And also, motivation only gets us started. It's the discipline that keeps us going. So part of my coaching is helping people develop that discipline.
Is it rewarding to see people actually, shed the pounds, feel more confident?
Seriously, I mean, I've had people lose 60 plus pounds, even 30 plus. Like, if you lose a pound, I am like a cheerleader rooting for you.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
So we hear a lot about, is it diet, is it exercise, is it a combo of both? In your field, like, what do you think?
It's totally a combination of both, but one does weigh out the other. So if you are looking to, get healthier, but specifically lose weight, it's 75 to 80% what you eat, what you put in your body versus 20 to 25% of what you actually do with your body.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I always heard the abs were made in the kitchen.
Well, they can be. They start in the kitchen.
All right. Well, can you give us some tips, for people that are interested in starting?
Sure. So like I said, just first you should do a wellness evaluation with me. I take a peek into what your life looks like on an average day, and I nitpick kind of what small changes you can make to see really big results if you stay consistent there. I also do 21-day challenges to support people to stay consistent. So you stay close to me for 21 days, you get all these resources, you get so many tips and tricks, you get to hear other people's stories, and that's what helps people, that's what helped me, even myself, to stay committed and to keep seeing the results that I really want to see. So do those baby steps, and then when you need help and you realize you can't do it on your own, seek help. We seek help when we are struggling in certain areas. Don't hesitate to seek help when you're also trying to lose weight or get healthy as well.
For somebody with a really busy schedule, how do you work around that as a coach?
So one of the things I love about my journey is that my life has progressively gotten aggressively busy. I have 2 small children, I've gotten married, and I moved cross country in the past 4 years. Wow. So I totally understand busy. And so I personally love to work with busy people because I have that experience. Sometimes we look and we see different sections of where we can find a little bit of time to work out, where we might have not normally seen it, or where we can find space in a budget to eat a little healthier. Some people say it's expensive, but we'll look at your budget and we'll see, how we can find space to actually afford what you need in order to be a little bit healthier.
That's a holistic approach now.
I'm with it. That's the whole point of what I do, because one mold does not fit everybody. We have different lifestyles, we have different things about us, we have different ticks and triggers, and we love different foods, and my goal is to look at people's lives individually and provide a personalized plan.
Love it. So if somebody's interested in getting connected with you and getting started, how can they do that?
The easiest place to find everything that I do would be linktree.com/healthcoachniece. You'll find out information about my 21-day challenges. You can join my walk-in club. All of those things right there, Health Coach Niece on Linktree.
Don't forget to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. How to use the QR code. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Point your device at the QR code so the QR code appears on your screen. Your device will recognize the QR code and show you a notification. Click that notification and you'll come to our website. Living Local Carolina, weekday mornings at 9:30 on WBTW News 13.